Good day, class. Our topic for today is all about how to evaluate limits from a graph. So let's have our objectives. So our objective is to evaluate limit from a graph and to solve limit by one and two-sided limit. So now let's discuss our concept notes. So first we have the right hand. We have limit of f of x as x approaches c from your right. So it has an exponent of plus sign. While from left hand, we have limit of f of x as x approaches c from the left. So you can see there's a symbol or exponent symbol of negative for the left hand. And also we have a function of f of x as limit as x approaches c if and only if the right and the left hand limits at C exist and are equal. So it means our left and right hand should be equal. So in symbols, look like this one. So we have the limit of f of x as x approaches C is equal to the limit. And limit of f of x as x approaches C from your right is equal to the limit, and limit as x approaches c from your left is equal to the limit, so or vice versa. Okay, so for further explanation, let's have an example. Let's have example number 1. We have this kind of graph. Okay, so for this one, we need to find the limit of f of x as x approaches 2 from our left. Again, this is our symbol. It has negative symbol here. So it means it's come from your left. So coming from your left. So here in our graph, this one, from left going to positive 2. So our positive 2 is here. So from here, we're going to here. We're going to find the value of the y or the limit from our left. So here, we get positive 3. So the limit of f of x as x approaches 2 from our left side is positive 3. Now, how about the limit of f of x as x approaches 2 from our right? So going to positive 2 again. So here, using this, going back from right, going to positive 2, we will get negative 4. So it means the limit of f of x as x approaches 2 from right side, we have negative 4. Again, for either both sides, okay, since it doesn't the same, it's not equal, it means does not exist. And if we're going to find f of 2 or the value of our f of x, so here in our graph we have a shaded circle. Okay, the value of our x is 2, and now we're going to find the value of our y. So here in our figure, or here in our graph, the value of y of f of 2 is equal to positive 1. So now let's have another example. Example number 2. Example 1.1. Okay, so we have this kind of graph. Again, we're going to find the limit of f of x as x approaches 4 from our left. So here, using this graph, going to positive 4 from the left side going here. Okay, so we get positive 3. Okay, the value of y. Next, the limit of f of x as x approaches 4 from our right side. From our right side here, going to positive 4. Again, we get positive 3. So it means since this one is equal, so both sides, so it exists, and also the value of the both sides is also positive 3. And the value of our f of 4, okay, so our shaded circle, the value of the y of the shaded circle is at positive 5. Did you follow? Okay, so let's have another example. Example number 2. Example number 2. We have this kind of graph. Okay. So our fixed point is at positive 2. So we're going to get the limit from our right side, left side, and either both sides. And the value of f of 2. Okay. So according to this graph, from your left side going to positive 2, okay, the value of y now is negative 1. And the limit of f of x as x approaches 2 from the right side going to 2, okay, we get also negative 1. Since this one and this one is equal, or either both sides, so it means the answer for limit of function of f of x as x approaches 2 is also negative 1. And lastly, the value of our f of x, or the f of 2, so the shaded circle or the shaded one, we have here 2. Then the value of our y is negative 1. So the answer is negative 1. Okay, so let's have another example. Example 2.1. Okay, so let's have this one. We have limit of f of x as x approaches 4 coming from our left side. Okay, left side. So now let's check. So from left side, okay, going to positive 4. Positive 4. So it is here. Then the value of our y is negative 4. So it means the limit of f of x as x approaches positive 4 from our left side is negative 4. Now, let's find the limit of function of limit of f of x as x approaches 4 from our right. From our right, okay, from our right, from here, okay, we're going to get the value of y. It's also negative 4. Okay, so the limit of f of x as x approaches 4 from our right side is also negative 4. Since this 2 is equal, so the limit of limit of f of x as x approaches 4 for either both sides is also negative 4. And the value of our f of x, or f of 4, okay, the shaded circle here, the value of y is also negative 4. Did you follow? Okay, very good. So now let's move on. Let's move forward. Have example number 3. Okay, so we have this a kind of graph. Okay, it's an open circle, or it's unshaded circle. So now let's find the limit of function, limit of f of x, I mean, as x approaches 4 from our left side. So 4 going to 4, positive 4 from your left side. So we get the value of y now is positive 2. Okay, then the limit of f of x as x approaches 4, positive 4 from our right. So from right going to positive 4, we're going to get also positive 2. Since these two, both left and right hand is equal, so we're going to copy the answer. Okay? So we have the limit of f of x as x approaches 4 for either both sides is also positive 2. And the value of our f of x or f of 4, since we don't have the shaded circle here, it means f of 4 does not exist. Okay? Did you follow? Okay, so very good. Now, let's move forward. We have example number 4. Let's say we have this kind of graph. It look like a hyperbola. So, it has an asymptote. Okay. So, this is our asymptote. This one. Again, asymptote of a hyperbola does not connect or intersect it with the curve. Okay? So, let's now find the limit of f of x as x approaches 4. So, where our asymptote here is at positive 4. Okay? So, coming from our left side, so here going left side, going to 4. Since it's going down and down and down, okay? So, the number or the value is going higher, lower, getting lower and lower. So it means it is an negative infinite. So it doesn't have a fixed point. Okay? Now, for the limit of f of x as x approaches 4 from our right side, okay, from right side, it will goes up and up and up and up, or the value will be higher and higher and higher, and it was a positive, so it means it's also a positive infinite. Okay, so it doesn't have a fixed number or fixed point for that one. Okay, and now for the either both sides, we have the limit of f of x as x approaches 4. Since our left and our right hand is not equal, okay, since they have different sign, so it means either both sides does not exist. And the value of our f of x or f of 4, since we don't have a fixed point or a shaded circle here in our graph, it also does not exist. Okay, so did you follow? Okay, so now let's move forward. We have example number 5. So here, okay, so let's have this kind of graph. Okay, 2 arrow going up. Okay, so now let's find the value of our f of x as x approaches 4. So it's positive 4 going or coming from our left. So here, coming from our left, it will goes up and up and up. Okay, so as you can see, we have an asymptote here. Again, asymptote does not intersect with our curve. Okay, so as you can see here, it will goes up and up. There's no fixed point, and it will infinite or continuous. So the answer is a positive infinite. Okay, while from limit of f of x as x approaches 4 from our right, from our right side, it will goes up and up also. It will not connect with our asymptote, and the value of the limit from the right side is also a positive infinite. Since they have the same value or the same answer from left or left and right side or right hand, our either both sides is also positive infinite. But in other textbook or books, okay, if your answer is this kind of answer for left and right hand, the answer for either both sides is also does not exist. Either of the two is okay or correct. Since we don't have a fixed point here, the value of our f of x or f of 4 is also does not exist. Okay? So did you follow? So let's move forward. Let's have example number 6. What if we have this kind of graph? Okay? It has two asymptotes. Okay? And the approaches is an infinite. Okay? We're going to find the value of the y. So as you can see, okay, we have the limit of f of x as x approaches positive infinite first. Positive infinite coming from our left side. So, well, with this kind of graph, okay, the asymptote that nears to our value of x, okay, is the answer of the limit. Okay, so for this one, the nearest coming from our left side. Okay, for this one, left side. Okay, this is infinite. It will not connect here. This is the value of our x, and the value of our y is the asymptote itself, which is positive 5. Okay, so for the limit of f of x as x approaches negative 5, negative infinite, from our right side, so from right side going here, it will continue and it will not meet or connect to our asymptote. And again, since it's nearer to our to this asymptote, okay, so the answer for the limit of f of x as x approaches negative infinite from our right side is the asymptote that is located at negative 6. So did you follow? Okay, so very good. So that's all for today. Thank you.